Yeah.
All right. Hi, I'm Jocelyn. I am the product manager for the pipeline security group here at GitLab. For those of you who are new or need a refresher, our group is responsible for two categories. The first is build artifacts, and the second is secrets management, which includes integration with secrets managers, CI variables, as well as CI job token. I'm here with our wonderful designer Vithika today to kick off our plans for 16.2. So in terms of our themes, we're continuing on our theme to really improve the user experience for CI variables. And then a small group of our team will continue to work on the build artifact bugs that are currently preventing expiration settings from working correctly. So just to highlight a bit of our deliverables, a lot of the backend work that we're going to be doing is really to set up the necessary GraphQL queries to be able to support the front end work that you'll be seeing. So one of the things that we're looking to bring in the next milestone or so is pagination for the group variables table. And this is one thing that we'll be focusing on getting the back end ready to support that front end implementation in the following milestones. The other, as I mentioned, we're focusing a lot on that front end experience. So some of the big things, one is we're going to start limiting the number of environments in the variables modal dropdown, just so it's a little bit more user friendly. We're also going to be updating the process for adding and editing a variable as well. So here is a quick snapshot of our plans for variable addition. And then I'm going to hand it over to Deepika to talk about what design will be up to.
Yeah, thanks, Jocelyn. So we did a lot of design work for variables to do sort of an overhaul of the experience that we were providing and change it for better. And a part of that exercise was also just understanding like what could be a better way of presenting the variables that a project has access to, starting from the ones that are inherited to the ones which are created in the project itself. And we came up with a couple of designs that we wanted to like take to our users and get to know like if this change is going to be of any value to them, and if not, what are the changes that we need to make to this to make sure that like whatever we are doing it for good. So the design 2 that you are looking at is the one that we'll most probably be discussing with all the participants that we have interviews already scheduled with for the coming week. So yay, we'll speak with a bunch of you and we'll be sharing our prototypes, we'll be providing scenarios, and there'll be a lot for us to learn from that. That's one. The next couple of issues that I'll be looking at in this milestone are these. This first one is configure job token group scope at group level. So I think about 6 months back, I worked on an issue which was to provide which was a workflow for allowing a particular project to be accessed by another project by adding it to an allow list that belongs to this other project. But for like thinking about organizations that have, let's say, too many projects in groups, it is a very tedious task to go individually to each one of them and then set up this allow list. To make it easier, what we'll be doing now is we'll be working on configuring these tokens at group level. And that would make everything so much easier. Like you just have to configure the settings at group level, like which projects you would want to access or to be accessed through the projects which are inside the group. And that's it. You won't have to go to the individual projects. Then coming to the next one, it says view the variables entered while running a manual pipeline. And that's pretty much what we're talking about, that when a pipeline is run, the variables that the jobs are using, the only way today for showing that, and that's also, I think, a work in progress, is on the job logs page, we are adding a variables tab. But what happens if, what happens when users want to get a glimpse of all the variables, like going to each job at a time and looking at the variables it's cumbersome, and we understand that. So we are going to be thinking of a way in which, without like making much changes or much additions to the UI of the pipeline detail page, if we can just present this extra information, like what variables the jobs used when they executed. And that's it. That's pretty much all I'll be looking at, besides working on the design proposal for the secrets native solution POC. And I'll have more to share about that in the next milestone.
Awesome. Thanks, Geethika. So just to wrap back up, a large part of what we're focusing on in 16.2 is really continuing to improve the user experience for CI variables. Everyone uses variables. So please reach out if you have any suggestions or any comments, or would like to be part of solutioning with us. We are super excited to continue to iterate on the improvements, and we look forward to the feedback. Thank you.